Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP, and it's Sunday afternoon, just around 4 o'clock, and this is the one-day chart on XRP, sitting here just around 63 cents. We had a pullback. Now we have that gradual upward movement once again. And everybody's talking about how big this week is going to be for crypto. I see people saying Bitcoin's new all-time high is coming in the next couple of days. Nobody knows for sure what's really going to happen. What I like to do is just sit back, stay patient, and see how it all plays out. Genuinely feel bad for everyone who held XRP for the last 2 years just to make absolutely no money. You know who I genuinely feel bad for? All the people that are giving up on XRP right before we cross the finish line. Because everything we ever talked about around XRP is now becoming true. You know, we used to talk about a new financial system. That's getting built out right now. We talked about how XRP is going to move all around the world. All the payment rails are being put in place right now. And now the financial institutions are starting to get involved with crypto. And now you want to give up on XRP. That doesn't make sense to me in any way. And you know who I really genuinely feel bad for as well is all the people that never got into crypto. The people that you tried to talk to about crypto over time that just didn't want to hear it. You know, I was doing work last week for a multi-millionaire. And I started talking to him about crypto. And he says, oh, that's all magic pixel dust. It's not worth anything. You know why people that have money talk that way about crypto? Because they made money in the current financial system. The problem is this current financial system is eventually going to collapse out. And it's going to take all these millionaires with it. And all of a sudden, we're going to become the new 1%. That's exactly the direction we're headed in right now. But you gotta hold the right cryptocurrencies. And it's not just XRP. That's why I always urge you to diversify. Get a little bit of XLM, some XDC. HBAR's another good one. I like Nexera. You also look at Algo and IOTA. There's a lot of great cryptocurrencies out there that can make you a lot of money. And people always say, why are you so focused on XRP all the time? The reason I focus on XRP more than the others is because there's so much FUD around this cryptocurrency. And I want to help you get through that so you can get to that life-changing money. $90 trillion transfer of wealth begins, creating richest generation in human history. Now they're talking about the money being transferred from the boomers to the millennials over the next 20 years. But one thing I want to point out in this article, as for what it takes to join the top 1% of earners in America, Knight Frank says it now takes $5.8 million to join the club. So think about it like this, okay? If you're an XRP investor, because people always say, how much XRP should I be holding? And I always tell you, nobody could really give you that number. But let's put it into perspective a little bit. So think about it like this. If you have 10K XRP and it goes to $100, you have $1 million. If you have 10K XRP and it goes to 589, you now have almost $6 million. You would be part of the new 1%. And that's what everybody talks about all the time when they're in XRP, is that magic 589 number. I'm going to talk about it a little bit in today's video, and I'm going to try to show you where that comes from. So when will Ripple's XRP hit the coveted $500 mark? These crypto exchange analysts have shocking answers. Now, let me tell you something about this. They're saying it's going to take all the way up until 2050. And I think they're totally wrong. And I think the reason that they're going out that far is to not look stupid when they're trying to say, well, it could happen within the next couple of years, because it absolutely can. Think about tokenization alone. Think about the value that's going to come from that. Think about XRP moving the world's money. It can't be sitting at a low price. Think about Ripple unlocking the Nostro Vostro accounts. Think about derivatives. Think about custody. Think about maybe if XRP becomes scarce at some point, because a lot of people are going to want to be holding this cryptocurrency. And I'm not talking about retail investors. I'm talking about the biggest companies around the world. They're definitely going to want to have XRP on hand to make cross-border payments. But there's so many different narratives that can get us there. One thing that I always stayed focused on, though, from day one, the path to 3 digits for me is Ripple stealing that business away from Swift. Is XRP set to be the ultimate millionaire maker? With talks of IPO, SEC settlement, XRP ledger development, and XRP ETF on the horizon, the future looks bright. Honestly, the future always looks bright around XRP. You know, every one of us are already rich. We're just watching it happen in very slow motion because we're waiting for the biggest financial transition in our history. Think about it. Swift is 50 years old. All of a sudden, we now have RippleNet and XRP putting rails in place. They're already embedded inside of Swift. They're also embedded inside of BRICS as well. And that's why I said, I don't think it's going to take to 2050 until we see 589. But when it comes to IPO, I think Ripple's most likely going to do that next year, if not at the end of 2024. The ETFs, I don't know how much value is going to come from that, because I really don't look into that. I'm more focused on the utility behind XRP. The era of institutional adoption is upon us. 150 years ago, that's the last time a new asset class was created. Once in a century opportunity. Do you understand why it's pointless to be impatient? Your personal rush for anything in this market is irrelevant. It's already happening. And we're watching it happen right in front of us. Yet people still don't realize how big this actually is. And it is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You're either going to take this opportunity and you're going to get rich from it, or you're going to get left behind. Remember, the technology and infrastructure for the institutional adoption of digital assets has already been built. Their words, a flip of the switch moment is on the horizon. And you see it right here. A lot of speakers agreed that a lot of the technology and infrastructure for institutional adoption has now been built, which has an obstacle previously. The flip of the switch now depends on regulatory approval. And that's exactly what everyone's waiting for. And I'm going to talk about how the banks, I think in the United States, they're already tied in with Ripple. They're already working behind the scenes, behind those NDAs as well. But that's where that flip of the switch moment that everybody talks about comes from. It comes from these big financial institutions over time. Even the IMF talks about a big bang migration. But you know, people always say it's the moon boys inside of crypto that brought that up. No, this is the institutions telling you exactly what's going to happen. Heck of a coincidence. Time to complete the circle. You see, David Schwartz, born 11/16/69. 589 days later, Elon Musk was born 6/28/1971. 5 times 8 times 9 equals 360. But then look at the way David Schwartz, in the past, talked about 589. He's hinted at it many times. First, you see 589 following David Schwartz. I swear, this is not altered or faked. I ordered delivery and this was written on the bag. It's probably 68S upside down, but I can't tell for sure. Here's an example of the kind of thing I should never ever tweet. And you see the amount of the check, 0.589. Send me 0.589 Bitcoin and I'll flip the switch. David Schwartz once again. I swear, I was just getting gas today and saw this. I don't mean to encourage crazy conspiracies. Seriously. And you see the price of diesel, 589. So is it all happening by coincidence? Or is 589 the magical number to move the world's money? It all comes down to what you want to believe. Me personally, I'm still just waiting for us to get beyond the dollar. Then we'll start talking about where we go from there. But you know, it's kind of things like that inside of crypto, inside of the XRP community, that keeps people holding. Blockchain adoption acceleration in the United States despite lack of clarity because of ample precedent. I agree with the inclusion of crypto language in UCC laws and recent SEC losses in court. There's a way to develop blockchain-based services while not breaking the law. I think a lot of things in the United States are going on behind the scenes, and I think we're going to get a lot of very big announcements the day that Gary walks out of the SEC and someone new takes his job. That's going to be one of the greatest days in all of crypto, because it's not just going to be XRP popping up. It's going to be all of crypto popping up. The whole narrative around crypto will change overnight. JP Morgan is a majority of the current correspondent banking system. The blockchain transformation can only happen with them leading the charge. Yes, JP Morgan is connected to the on-demand liquidity, accounts for more than half of all SWIFT ISO transactions globally, and had a presentation highlighting Ripple with market makers. So do we have to wait for JP Morgan to lead the charge? That's the big question. One thing I know is, and this is the previous mapping that goes all the way back to 2020. And you see JP Morgan there. That's showing you the new financial system. But one thing I wanted to say is when it comes to Jamie Dimon, I don't know what's going to happen with Basel III. He looks very, very worried about that. And that's going to take effect in January of 2025. So how relevant is JP Morgan going to be after Basel III? Nobody really knows because none of us can see into the future. We all just kind of speculate on what's going on. But you know, JP Morgan was always part of the new financial system from day one. You could even go back earlier than 2020, and JP Morgan was always mentioned there. But you know, I know this. If you look at the way everything is playing out right now, and you look at the money moving license, the money transmitter license here in the US that Ripple has, that shows you things are going on in the background. Because Ripple is acquiring those licenses for XRP to run on in the very near future. Everything is being put in place right now. I even think Gary still delaying the inevitable with Ripple, you know, in court. I think that's even happening for a reason right now. I think we're watching a movie play out, and at the end of the movie, we all get rich. And that's what I've been hoping for from the very first day I bought my XRP. But when you look at it sitting here at 63 cents right now, we're gradually moving upward. And I hope that continues this week once again. I'm hoping that we pop off at some point, though. Bring that excitement back to the XRP community. But nobody could call this market 100%. And what I see going on right now is all the narrative is that Bitcoin's going to achieve a new all-time high in the coming days. Let's see how it plays out. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.